You can't use anything electrical without this being on, so you need to turn it on the left button, top left button. You turn it on. From here then you can turn on the water pump. Also, if you need to flush the toilet, you can't flush it without this control panel being on, because it works on the electric or the batteries. If you want to run water for the sink or for shower, that's this one here. And you may hear a pump making a noise. That's normal, that's just the water pumping in. You don't really need to do anything else other than that. This is the area where the gas bottles are. You can't do any cooking without the gas being on. We will leave the gas on, but if you do need to switch over the gas, this is how you do it. So it's this key here, the long one, out of the bunch. It says JMA on it. So if you put the key in, and you turn it, and it automatically springs out. Okay, same again this side. Just put the key in, turn, and it automatically springs out. Then you turn anti-clockwise, and that springs open. Just be careful when lifting these up because they're very heavy. Make sure it clicks into place, because if these hit you on the head, they're very, very heavy, these doors. So then getting down to the actual bottle, we'll use the the right one first, because it's actually where this mark is here is pointing to this bottle. You've got two bottles. So when this one runs out, you then need to switch it over to the other arrow and turn it on here. But at the moment it's only running off the one bottle. So at first you turn this yellow up, which is what it says here on the sticker. Straight up is on. Then turn the gas on the top, and then that should then show in green, which means there's gas going through. And that's as easy as that. If you do need to, if the one bottle runs out for the heating or for the cooking, you switch this one off, you switch this over to the other arrow, just literally just turn it, and then you turn it on here. Simple as that. Shut the lid down, you hold it, and you turn it clockwise to the middle, same there. Then you stick the key in, and you have to push and turn, and it clicks in. They're on springs. Same this side, turn, and just push it in, it should click in. For the cooker, now you've got the gas on, you have to pull the hood up. You cannot light this without this hood being up, and it has to go right back, gently, just as far back as it can go without forcing it too much. That then allows the gas. The way to test it is to just turn it on, and you can hear the gas coming out. Again, you can't use the electric clicker if your control panel isn't on. So you have to make sure the control panel's on, and then you can have the electric clicker. Just hold in the gas onto the first until hold about 10 seconds, then let it go, and that's it. You also, if you're on electric hookup, you have the electric hob, which helps save the gas if you just want to boil some water, and that's just this one here is for turning on the hob. But that again is only when you're on electric hookup. If you haven't got hookup, you can only use the 3 gas rings. And then coming down to the oven, you have to go to this one here. Same principle as the top. You turn, you can hear the gas coming out. Then you'll hear, you can see the clicker. You get a little flame, the pilot. Again, you hold it for about 10 to 15 seconds. It all fires up, and then you're good to release. And then normally for average cooking, I have it on about 6 or 7, and that's basically how you use the cooker. The gas on top, the grill, if you're going to grill some toast, same principle, just hold it down, and then the flames light up at the top. Hold it in for about 5 to 10 seconds, release, and then you're good to go. Okay, so now we're going to look at the fridge settings. In here we have 3 settings. One says 12 volt, one says 230, and one says gas. Now when you're on the electric hookup, you just put it on to 230 volts and the green light stays on. Now if you haven't got the hookup, you haven't got the electricity, you go on to gas, and you'll hear the click 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 click, and you'll hear the flames trying to light. And you have to wait constant orange light, that means it's lit. Now sometimes this will start flashing, that means it hasn't lit. So what you have to do, you have to turn it back off, wait for 10 seconds and then try it again. Sometimes there's a little bit of air in the system apparently, so that's why it doesn't always fire first time, but this time it's fired straight away. Apparently you can do it up to 4 times. Now this is if you're only off grid. If you're only working with no hookup again, you use the gas. But normally, like I say, if you're on the electricity, 240, and when I'm driving it, if I'm going a long way, you go onto the 12 volt, but you don't need that. Okay, the toilet, if you're going to use the toilet, there's, lift the lid, there's a grey slide button here which opens up the hole which goes into the cassette. So you have to open up the hole like that, you do your business, you flush whilst the hole's open like that, and then just let the water drain and then close the hole again and put the lid back down, and that's it. That's the cassette toilet. And when we come around to changing the cassette, which I'm going to show you next, you have to make sure that this is closed. You cannot pull the cassette out underneath if that's left open like that. So if you're trying to get the cassette open and it's not working, it's because this is not closed. For the flusher, we need to fill up this tank. There's 2 things you need. You need your water, which we'll leave the watering can in here, and also you need the pink fluid. So I'm going to use the butterfly key here to get to the fluid, and the watering can will be kept in here as well. Just normal water from the tap. Again, the same system as the gas. Pick it up, make sure it doesn't fall down because these are heavy. And this is your pink fluid. And you put in, for every flush, up to the black mark there. Then we come up to the flusher. Same key as before, as the one we used on the gas. Get your fluid, pour that in here. And what I normally do, rinse out that, a little bit of water. Okay, and then just fill up the water. You can see the water level in the top there. That's full. Again, just to close it, just put it to, turn the key, take the key out. Okay, to close this, hold it in, put your butterfly key in and turn clockwise. Same this side. Butterfly key in, turn clockwise. Okay, now this is going to be the nice part. It's emptying the toilet. I tend to do it every day so you don't get any smells. So with this one, it's the same key as we've been using so far for the gas and for the top tank. You turn it clockwise and push the button in. Push the top button. Doesn't always open first time. There you go. Sometimes it takes 2 or 3 goes for this top button. Inside here you have your cassette. This is where all the nice stuff goes. And again, like I said, if you haven't closed the hole in the actual cassette inside in the toilet, you won't be able to retract this. So there's a yellow lever here. You just lift that up and slide the cassette out. If you're at Portmore, you take it to the waste disposal. And how do you do that? You then basically you have to take this grey section out like so. I advise wearing gloves. I normally wear disposable gloves when doing this. You have to turn this out, unscrew. You then open up the actual thing, which is where it all goes in. This helps airflow, or else it won't come out. And then you hold, as you're tipping it down to the toilet, you hold the yellow button and you tip away. Normally in the waste disposal areas, they have a hose where you can keep just flushing it out and tipping out the waste until it's all gone. And then you close the top, you put the cap back on, turn it back in, I tend to do this because if it gets full, it's quite heavy. So I tend to do this every day, so it doesn't get too full. And then when placing it back in, there is also a trolley in the garage. If it gets too heavy and you've got a long way to walk, basically sit it on top, and it should automatically just click back in. You turn the key. So I turned it anti-clockwise. Check that. Sometimes it click it again, and that's locked. Sometimes it doesn't lock first time. You have to give it a slight slam. So now you've emptied your cassette, now what you need to do is you need to add the blue chemical, which helps it not smell too much. It's basically 150 mils maximum for this amount. What I normally do, again, open up the hole, and then I normally just pour in. This helps keep the smell away. A few drops like that. Basically like a type of bleach, I guess. Now what I didn't mention is the pink liquid is only for the tank, because this blue liquid will corrode the water pump inside. Then what I do is give it a quick flush, and then you're good to go. And close the vent back up. So you do this after every time when you've emptied your cassette to the waste disposal. Place the empty cassette back in, and then just pop some of the blue chemical inside it. It keeps it nice and fresh and not smelling.